People who trespass commit acts that put us at a vulnerability because they can disrupt service and harm our critical infrastructure. We are concerned about the component of terrorism, and that's why we would want to encourage our employees and our customers to report people that they see along the right-of-way.
Another very disruptive issue related to trespassing is theft. Criminals come onto the railroad to steal materials, often copper wire. Sergeant Ron Basin and investigator Francesco McBride lead the Major Crimes Unit out of Philadelphia for the Amtrak Police.
Primarily, we have a lot of issues where they cut what is called neutral lead wire. This affects the signals, creates TOLs on the railroad.
Which is a track-occupied light, and it will show the train dispatcher that there's a train in that line. Well, the train dispatcher knows there's not supposed to be a train in that line.
Theft of this wiring leads to multiple issues for the railroad.
Well, it slows things down. The on-time performance drops. Passengers get a little despondent because, they want to get to their destination on time and they're depending on us to get them there. And when we can't because of an issue that somebody's caused a problem, then it does. It creates a major problem.
It affects the passengers, the employees who have to come out all hours of the day and night, and it's a big financial burden on Amtrak itself.
This is one of the cases that we had in the Baltimore area. Generally, this is what the neutral lead wires will look like. They run between these two impedance bonds, and the problem we have are people coming on the railroad and cutting these wires in the off of those different ends there.
And that's what Amtrak police found when they investigated a call on May 8, 2012. It was the latest in a string of such crimes. After canvassing the scene for clues, they took the investigation to a nearby scrapyard.
We had shown them a sample of a wire, and for whatever reason, they still had the wire in the back of the scrapyard. And generally at these scrapyards, they're required to give identification. And in this particular instance, they did have identification on the suspects that did bring it in. We were able to identify them.
On May 9th, John Schultz of Halethorpe, Maryland, was arrested and charged with larceny.
He was in a vehicle at that time, and he just happened to have a box of the insulation that he had stripped off the wire, which identifies as being from the property of the railroad.
Two of his known associates were also arrested in connection with these crimes.
Yeah, he's in jail. He's actually was sentenced 3 years. It's a minimal amount of money that they get for the wire. It causes a lot of damage for the railroad, and definitely not worth going to jail for.
But Amtrak employees and contractors can take action to prevent these issues before they disrupt the system. Theft prevention measures include painting the cables a distinctive color and labeling the insulation covering the wire.
The best thing to do is to secure the wire, be that stapling it on a wooden tie, making sure that it's secured in a dumpster, making sure that dumpster is locked, making sure that there are regular inventories, or that cameras are placed at strategic locations when possible. When we have wire theft that occurs, it's more than thousands of dollars. It can go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And all Amtrak employees can make a difference in combating trespassing, theft, and potentially acts of terrorism by being vigilant and reporting anything unusual to Amtrak police.
Well, we would encourage our employees, who are our best resources there, to help protect Amtrak infrastructure and resources and property. And when they see something suspicious, no matter who's doing it, whether it's internal or external, to call the police.
And it's a crime that doesn't pay. Amtrak police nearly always get their wire thief.
I would say that we probably have a success rate between 75 and 80%. And that's due to being aggressive and creating liaison with the scrapyards.
Our detectives are relentless in their ability to track down who's done it and bring them to justice.
But they need your help. If you see something that doesn't seem right, report it.
Call us. It's our job. You're not wasting our time. That's what we're there for. Even if it's just someone on the railroad, it's still a crime.
We don't know who those people are. We don't know what their intentions are. We all have a responsibility to work together to keep Amtrak safe.
You have no idea what that person is doing. They could be out there just walking on the railroad. They could be scouting out an area where they're going to steal wire. But you also have, in this day and age, you have to consider terrorism. The railroad, the transportation system is a target, so you never know what that other person may be trying to do, whether they're to derail a train or to, set any type of explosive device along the track area. That is something that we take very seriously.
And sometimes the threat comes from within.
We have had several cases which involved employees. I guess I would say to other employees that if you suspect that there is something going on where you see something that possibly involves internal theft, that I would highly recommend they contact the Amtrak Police Department.
You can call the police, you can tell your supervisor. There are anonymous ways to notify both the IG and others that crimes are being committed or that there's fraud, waste, and abuse, and we would encourage employees to do that. If you see something just doesn't seem right, go ahead and call. And if you're wrong, we don't care. It's okay. Just call us anyway. And in the case of trespassers, you might be saving somebody's life.
Report trespassers and all suspicious activity to Amtrak Police by calling 800-331-0008, by calling 911, or by sending a text to 27311.